Hey, good morning. It's Jane from Chalk Mercantile and Surface Anthology. I have a fun little project today that I'm going to show you guys. I'm making over a clipboard using chalk paint, decoupage, and copper leaf. I'm really excited about this. I've been obsessed with clipboards, and those of you who know me, I collect vintage and antique clipboards. And I don't know, there's just something about it. I wanted to remind you guys, in a few days, I'm going to be opening up the Surface Anthology membership. So all the techniques that I'm showing you are kind of the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to be doing in the membership. So if you're interested, get on the wait list. Go to chalkmercantile.com on the front page and sign up for the wait list. You could direct message me, I'll put you on there, or you can go to surfaceanthology.com and there's a little form there. And we're going to be having a ball over there. All right, getting on to our clipboard. So these are new clipboards. This is a full size. And this is what I would recommend doing it on, though you could totally do it on a little one. I'm going to use a little one because it's going to be easier for everything to go quickly as I demonstrate. So here we have our little clipboard. First thing I'm going to do is paint it. Now I'm using this, it's by Jim Holtz or Tim Holtz. But I found this really beautiful tissue, and I just love this. We used this in the Merry Makers Ornaments of the Month box last month, and I found it in a different size because it's discontinued. So I'm going to be using this on part of this clipboard, and that will be decoupaged on. But my point in saying this is, I'm going to be using turquoise. And I'm afraid if I put the turquoise color under this tissue, it's not going to be as clear and crisp. So I'm going to be painting the bottom half in white and the top half in bright turquoise because I love turquoise and copper. And let me just show you this copper leaf. I don't use it a lot. For some reason, I just don't think about it. But it's beautiful. Look at that copper. Ugh, I love it. All right. So, pour out a little bit of this bright turquoise. And I think turquoise and copper go really well together. If you think about when copper develops a patina, it's that turquoisey color, and I just love the two together. So there's my turquoise, and here's my white that I use a lot, and I have it in my FIFO bottle. Thank you, Dan DeSante. Okay, and there's the white. And I'm going to measure where I actually think I'm going to use the whole sheet like this. I've got my ruler. So this sheet is just about 6 inches, just under. So I'm going to draw a line 6 inches up. What does that look like? Yeah, so that high up. Okay. So I'm just going to make a couple little dots. I'm not being super accurate. Draw the line here. Boy, I'm really not that accurate. I'll just go between the two lines. All right. Just to give me a guide. And the top is going to be, grab art brush here, the turquoise. So the very first thing we're going to do is paint. And of course these clipboards are made out of, I think it's called MDF. Oh, I love this color. I think it's just going to be gorgeous. I love turquoise with gold leaf, and I love turquoise and copper. And yep, I'm going to let this down, and it's going to go right into that paint. If I was doing this not on camera, I would probably hold this up and quickly blow dry it, just so I didn't lift up a ton of paint. All right, and get around the edges. And I'm just eyeballing it. And these are great to display. You could have one in your kitchen for your pantry list, recipes, and it's so much prettier than having just a plain clipboard. Okay, so there's the turquoise. I'm rinsing my brush. And I'm going to put the white paint on now. And we're getting a little blending because I did not really rinse my brush. But it's going to be under the decoupage paper. And we're going to have the copper leaf over it. Now, how many of you out there have actually used, and I've done a lot of tutorials, leafing. How many of you have used it? Let me know, because I love it and I think it's really, really easy. And there's something about using leaf. I love metallic paint also, but leaf just has such a unique, authentic look. And it's easy, 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 easy. Ooh, and I'm just, as I said that, I realized what I forgot is my leafing size. But when you're using leaf, all you need is a packet of leaf, something called size. That's the glue that holds the leaf on. All right, I'm really laying this on. Now, if I were doing, again, this for myself and I had all the time in the world, I would do 2 coats to get a nice bright white. But for this, I'm gonna do 1. I'm gonna grab my blow dryer. And hopefully it won't blow out any electrical. I got everything plugged in, my lights, all, I think on 1 circuit. And I'm holding up the clip. When you do this, remember that you can heat the metal up with the blow dryer, so be careful. That feels good. Nice and dry. Let's see if I have some size close by. I do. Hang on. We can't do this without size. And I have a massive bottle. I do so much leafing. Okay, next thing that we're going to do, let me clean out my little bowl here. And you'll see me when I work out of bowls. I don't work out of the containers because it just contaminates them. It just makes a mess. So we'll add a little bit of the decoupage. And I want a nice flat brush. We'll use this one. So I'm using, oh, I forgot to shut my phone off. Sorry, you guys. I'm using just a flat natural bristle brush. And I'm gonna brush, oh, first thing I'm gonna do actually. So back to this step. I need to pick the design part that I want. And I really, really like this butterfly. So I'm gonna just use my pencil here just to kind of score it and cut this out. Now, decoupage is so easy now because papers are being made just for decoupage. When I think of decoupage, I think of the antique decoupage pieces that people would cut out, these little intricate shapes. And it's really beautiful, but now you could just buy a sheet of paper and you are ready to go. All right. Look at how cute that's already starting to look. So, I'm dipping my hands in turquoise. Okay, let's brush on the decoupage. And I want to go around the edge because I'm going to try to kind of wrap this tissue right around the edge. And everything I'm showing you today can be used on an actual piece of furniture. The only thing that I would ever use in my tutorials that you probably couldn't use on furniture, possibly a frame, something you wouldn't touch, is my German glass glitter that I absolutely adore. Get that off the back. Okay, so I've got a nice coat on here. And now, make sure your hands aren't sticky. We're going to take our piece of tissue and plop that on. And it's slightly forgiving. And I'll show you what I mean. So there's our piece of tissue. I'm going to wrap this. Now, if you look, see the wrinkle right there? If that bothers you, see if I can show you this. And I might not be able to show you this yet. I used another kind of tissue that was stronger, and I was able to lift it up and kind of smooth it out. This doesn't bother me. I'm decoupaging. This is what you would expect to see. But if it does, when you place your paper down, kind of ease it down and push it out like this to get any wrinkles out. But look at how cute that looks already. All right, and the next step is you just put on a coat of decoupage right over your tissue or your papers. And this seals. You don't need to seal this anymore. The Decoupage medium does that. But imagine doing this on a dresser, doors, or the draws. That's my New England. I don't know where I got that, but I only ever hear it here in Connecticut. Drawers, and I say draws. All right, so there is, and you'll see it's a little milky now. It's wet. So I'm gonna dry that with the blow dryer, and then I'm gonna put a nice strip of copper leaf on the top, and also right here up on the little clip part of it. Run my fingers just down the sides. So if you see a little bit coming off, like right here, just take your brush and go around to the other side and brush that down. This side looks good. And if you're not going to use a blow dryer like me, the best thing to do for something like this to dry, and you guys that are members of my Merry Makers know, and also my Painted Block of the Month, I send out waxed paper because it won't stick. So if you put this down, you don't realize you've got some decoupage medium on the black. If you put it down on paper, it's gonna stick and you're gonna have a mess. I need a little bit more. So wax paper is the best, even better than parchment. Okay, a little bit more. Look at how cute this is. So even just like this, it's really just a cute little accessory to have around. You can hang it up and put all your lists in here, but we're not gonna stop there. We're of course gonna put on some fabulous copper leaf. So now I think I ran out of containers. So I think what I'm gonna do, where's my copper leaf? I'll use the lid, my size. Now this is size. Size is the glue that you put, that glues on the leaf, whether it be copper, silver, gold. You can get sterling silver leaf, which is really beautiful. So, and I've got this massive bottle, because I do a lot of leafing. I love it. Let's see if I can use the lid. And I don't advise doing this at home because it is glue. I'm gonna use this lid because I ran out of containers, and I'm gonna have to wash it out before I put it back on because it will glue this shut and I'll never get to my size again. You can also get different colors of size. Red, which is very, very traditional. When you look at those the antique frames that are all leafed, you'll see red underneath. And I think originally it was red clay that they would put underneath, and it just made the gold even more luscious and beautiful. All right, so I think first thing I'm going to do, and I also naturally don't have a piece of, actually I'll use a sponge. I'm gonna do the clip part of this, and I'm gonna use a sponge, this little piece of sponge. For you guys, I would advise getting a piece of waxed paper and putting it underneath this little mechanism here so that you don't get size on your paint. And then, let's see, what brush should I use? Another natural bristle brush. And I'm just dipping it in my size and painting it on the clip mechanism, or the clip part. And the thing about size is it has to come to what we call tack. So right now you can see it's really wet, it's milky, and it takes a couple of minutes to come to tack. And that means I can put my finger into the size. It's not going to come off, it's not going to be wet, but it feels sticky, like the back of a piece of tape. All right, so I'm going to push it along with the blow dryer, which I haven't done before, and get this to come to tack a little bit quicker. Whoop. Move my copper leaf away. Oh, and boy, does that ever. You could see that just going from milky to clear. Yep. So to get that one little spot. It kind of pooled right in the corner there. Okay. So it's gone from milky to tack, and my finger is sticking to that. Now, the fun part. We're going to, let me put my brush in water. Always have water, a big thing of water next to you. So now I'm going to put copper leaf right there on the clip. And you'll see these books, a little hint here. I don't really need to use an entire page, and I will normally just cut these down to the size that I need, okay? Because I don't want to have a lot of waste. So you could just take your ruler and you could cut the book. There's 25 sheets. And when I do this, I use my quilting rotary cutter. And you probably shouldn't do that. I'm sure when I go to use it on fabric, it's not going to work so well. It's the equivalent of using fabric scissors on paper, which is a sin if you're a quilter. All right, so there is my sheet of copper. And I'm just going to turn this over, press it down, and you'll see it's stuck, but now we have to kind of burnish it. So I'm going to take a sheet of this tissue from the book. Don't use your fingers. And I'm just going to burnish this on and get all the way around, everywhere I put that size. And you can see it emerging. And now I'm just going to get a natural bristle brush. There are also really beautiful leafing brushes to do this. And you just brush away the excess leaf. Maybe we'll use that extra on the other part that I want to put copper leaf. Now, if you see little areas, get underneath. If you see little tiny areas like there that are not done and it bothers you, you really want it a clean look, you could just go right back in with your size, dab a little bit on the areas that didn't get the copper leaf, wait for it to come to tack again, and you could just apply a little bit more and you'll be all set. All right, so our color scheme is coming together now. Last thing I want to do is add a strip of size going right down like in this area. I'm thinking of, do I want to do like a perfect design, or do I want to just do, I think I'm going to do a brush stroke. So I'm going to take this very same, this is a chip brush, that's what I'm looking for, and I'm going to dip it in the size, and I'm just going to kind of do a swish. All right, into the water it goes, and we're going to, and I know when I put that blow dryer on, this leaf is going to go everywhere. So I'm just going to cover it up with the spine facing the blow dryer. All right, here we go. This will be a surprise. Tell you what, I cannot hold this blow dryer with my right hand, and the size of the area. And one area right up at the top there, a little bit wetter. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to take away a little bit of that with my fingers and wipe it off just in the interest of time. Normally you would just let it come to tack. And we'll try just a little bit more. And hope it works. Okay. So, I actually think I'm not going to use the scraps because my fingers have size on them and it's making them sticky. Okay. So we open up to a piece of copper. Ooh, that one's a little ripped. Here we go. I just hold the spine with my, I'm a lefty, with my left hand, and we'll just put this down. And I push away or burnish away from the spine. Don't go back and forth because you can really mess up the sheets in there. All right, and then I could use my scraps over at the end here and my finger. Look at how, even though I wiped my hands off the copper, the leaf will just stick. Okay. And I'm gonna burnish it with that piece of tissue. And then, so we could see our design, I'm gonna take a natural bristle brush again and just burnish off the excess. And push all the little crumbs away. And there goes my ruler. And you'll see, oops, that we're going to have to fix. A little bit of the edge of the paper came up, and I'll show you how I fix that. But I'm kind of pushing against with my bristles. But look at that. How fun is that? We've got the copper, the turquoise, and the decoupage. I just love it. Now, right here, because I didn't go all the way up, a little bit of the paper came off. So I'm going to grab my tiny brush. And dry it off. And take a little tiny bit of the decoupage medium and go underneath that. Now, what's going to happen is that one little area is going to look flat or matte. So what I will do is go back when this is dry with a little swish of size and just put a little bit more copper there. But there it is, our made over, our very glitzy, fancy clipboard. And the last thing I want to say, because it does, this paint up here, it's chalk paint, it does have to be finished. So what I'm going to do is apply a clear coat over the whole thing, a very thin veil of clear wax, let it dry, and then just buff it. And that'll also make the turquoise really rich and really vibrant. So there you go, you guys. Look at how sweet this is. I think these would make great gifts. You just pick the person's favorite color. These tissues are they're just a game changer. All the decoupage tissues. This is actually called, it's by Tim Holtz, Ideology, collage paper. And I really love it. And this is the entomology. But it went from being a really big roll to these little sheets. And I really had to hunt it down because I love it. All right, any questions, please ask me in the comments. If you're interested in joining the Surface Anthology membership, where we will be really breaking down finishes like this in projects, but all of them will be applicable to furniture pieces or walls or floors. Imagine doing a feature wall or a door like this with decoupage and then copper leaf. I mean, it's gorgeous. And I do, going back to the wax really quickly, I wax over leaf all the time. And it looks just as beautiful as it does right now. And I use a clear wax. So, because I really want this to stay vibrant and clean. So any questions, ask in the comments. If you want to be put on the wait list for the Surface Anthology membership, just go to surfaceanthology.com, put your name in the little form. You can also go to chalkmercantile.com, and there's a big banner right up there where you could put your name on the wait list, and in a few days it'll be opening up. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a wonderful day and happy painting.